Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Abhinav. So in this video, I will discuss all the problems of Codeforces round 784. So it was a division 4 round. So I was thinking that today I have to solve all the problems, and I got it. All the problems are good, and they are of beginner level. The last four problems were really difficult. Means they are of good level. First four are you can say easy one. I found the problem number E, means the fifth problem, most difficult because I was also not able to solve it in the first attempt. So I took one wrong summation in the E1, and after that I was able to solve it. So fine. So I don't think that is there a need to discuss the first three problems, but then also I will just discuss it. Okay. So it is a very easy problem, just based on if else. So you have to just check the rating and then output the division. So this was problem A. Now in problem B, it was like you have to print any number who is appearing at least 3 times. For that you can just simply use map. So if the map value of any number is greater than or equal to 3, then you have to just output that, and if it is not, then you have to output -1. So it is a very simple thing. Now see, it was like you can increment the numbers at odd index, and you can increment the numbers at even index. So by doing this, you have to make the parity of all the numbers equal. Okay, you have to make the parity of all the numbers equal. So obviously, if you have to make the parity equal, so the numbers at odd index and the number at even index have their parity equal. So we have to just check that if the number at odd index have same parity, and if the number at even index have same parity, then only it is possible. Fine. So this was a very quick and I don't think that any more explanation is required for this problem. And yeah, it has got a good number of submissions. So yeah, the first three problems are basically easy one, and they are just like the problem A of division 2 round. So what happened here? Okay, so no problem, it is not loading. Now problem number D, E, we will discuss the D and E. So D was a good problem. So what we have to do is, here we have a row of n cells given. Okay, so all are currently white. So what we have to do is that we can either current to consecutive cell BR or RB. So you have to just tell that the given combination of color is possible or not. Okay, so yeah, this is a good problem. We'll discuss it in the whiteboard. So what we have to do here is, we have some sequence of you can say some sequence of colors. Okay, row, and you have to check that whether it is possible or not. So for that, what we can do is, we have for example, we have blue. Okay, we have blue, sorry, we have blue R, blue. This is the first. We have blue. So obviously when only one color is present, then we can't do that. Why we can't do that? Because if only one color, it is not possible, because in each operation we can either apply RB or apply BR. So there should be at least one of the both color in a particular string. So this is never possible. Now if we talk about this, all the other strings in which both the colors are available, they are possible. You can check. If there is a string in which R and blue both are present, okay, we don't have to talk about the order, in which order they are present, because all the particular orders are possible. For example, if we take this order, we can simply, first it is white. Okay, so how can we make this to this? We will first do operation in these two. It will become BR white. Then we will do operation on these two. It will become BR white. Then in these two, it will become BR blue. And then we can do operation on this one. It will become BB. So it is possible. Similarly, all the combinations are possible if a string contains both R and B. But if it doesn't contains both R and B, in that case, what we have to do is we have to output false or no, simply whatever. Fine. Yeah. So now one more thing, there are some blank spaces also. For example, there is R, B, B, then two blank spaces, then R, B, R, then a blank space, then R, B. In that case, what we have to do is, if there is a blank space, then obviously we have to consider this as a separate string, this as a separate string, this as a separate string. So basically this white cells represent that this is a separate string. So we have to check for that condition here separately, and here separately. Okay, this is what we have to do. So let's move towards the code part to understand how I have implemented that. Is this code opening? There is some server issue. Yeah, it is. I was out of competition because my division was 2. So there it was like when it is R, I have implemented R plus 1, it is B, implemented B. Now if it is not R, it is not B, it means it is W. So when it is W, then what we can do, if B and R both are 0, means we have to just continue. If any one of the both colors are not present, means all are B's or all are R, all are blues and all are reds, in that case the answer is no. Otherwise we can continue and we can refresh that string, means now we will take another. So just a single statement, if B is 0 and R is not 0, or R is 0 and B is not 0, in that case we have to print, otherwise we have to print yes. It is a simple. Okay, so now E was a very great one. In E what we have to do is that we are given with n strings of length 2. So we have to find that number of pairs such that I is less than j, fine, such that those two strings are at I and j differ at only one position, exactly one position. Okay, it should differ at exactly one position. So for this what can we do? So as we know that we have in this particular strings we have only 11 letters which are from A to K. Okay, so it contains only 11 letters from A to K. Now we have strings, for example, AK, AB, BC, CA, DB. So what we will do is we will check for all the AK characters, that if we fix A as one index, then how many pairs as possible such that A is fixed and others are different. Then for B, then for C, up to K. So we will check for each and every character. This is what we have to do. Now let's see how. For example, if we check for A, fine. So we'll check that yeah, the first index where A is fixed. So these are the two where A is fixed. So we'll take that yes, there are two substrings where A is fixed, and we can take 2C2. Why 2C2? Because out of these two, for example, let's take one more example. Let's say there is AK, AK, AB, 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 then I have BA, CA, CA, like this. This is what I have. So I will check for A first. Okay, so for A, first of all we'll check for those strings where the first index is A fixed. So these are the where A index is fixed, means first index is A. So in that, how many are there? 5 are there. So obviously 5C2 pairs are possible. But there are some pair, because if we take AK and AK, it will be equal. There is no difference in any position. So we will subtract 3C2 minus 2C2. 3C2 means these 2C2 and 3C2. So we will take whole, means 5C2. Then we will subtract 3C2, means when we are taking AB and AB only, and 2C2 means when we are taking AK and AK only. So the final will be the answer. And when we will fix A, then these three strings are taken. Here we will do 3C2 minus 2C2 minus 1C2, which is 0 basically. So it is 3C2 minus 2C2. These strings are possible. Okay, so this is what we can do. Let's move towards the code, how I have done this. Maybe you are finding some difficulty in understanding, so check out my code, because the code, after seeing the code you will understand. Okay, so there is some problem with the Codeforces side, because today I think there will be so many hits. The connection is quite So first of all, here I have counted two variables C1 and C2 and map. Okay. So this map is basically for each character how many times it is occurring. For example, what we have discussed now, like here I have discussed that we have to first check how many characters are there, so that we can do 5C2. Then how many K's are there? Minus 2C2. How many B's are there? Minus 3C2. So for that we are using map to find which characters are occurring how many times, and for calculating whole the characters we are using a counter K. Fine. So this is what we are doing. So yeah, we are incrementing the counter. We have fixed. So if the first index is equal to CH, then we are incrementing MPP, and the second index is equal to CH, then we are incrementing MPP1. And if both the index are equal to CS, for example AA or AB, then we are incrementing both the, means the first index is also CS and second index is also CH. And the CS is from A to K. We will discuss from A to K all that thing. Then we will discuss that we will increment the value of CC2 basically. Okay, because we are taking CC2. This is the, because what is the value of this combination? You know that the value of NC2 is basically n into n minus 1 by 2. So this is what I am doing. Okay, this is what I am doing. Now here I have incremented the value of NC2 means CC2, and here I have calculated the value of X, means all those combinations which we have to subtract, this one. This is what I am storing in a variable K for both the, when CH is present in first index or when CH is present in second index, and then calculating the answer. This is what we have to do. So yeah, I hope you understand. If you have any doubt, you can join a Telegram or you can comment it down. This contest is over. Okay, now the last three. It is a very good problem. It is eating candy. So it is like there are two people, Elias and Bob. So Elias has to eat from left and Bob has to eat from right. So now what they have to do is that they have to eat equal weight of candies. Fine. So how many total most number of candies they can eat? It is asking. So what we will do is, then we will use the, let's take example to understand like this. This is example 214241. So we'll discuss this example. It is 214241. Okay, let's take another 421. Sorry, 21424. So Elias will go from here and Bob will go from here, whatever is the name. Okay, now if it will eat up to second candy, then how much weight it will eat? If it will eat up to this, then how much weight it will eat? This is what we have to find. So we will like that if I will eat only one candy, so it will 2. If 2, it will 3. 2 plus 1, then 7, then 9, then 11, then 12. No, not 11, sorry. 13, and then 14. So this is a prefix summary for A. For B, from last we have to take. So if it will eat one candy, it will be only 1, then 5, then 7, then 11, then 12, then 14. Okay. Now we have to check. We will use 2 pointers approach. The first pointer will here, and the second pointer R will go here. Then it will check that is there any index in A and in B such that the values are equal. So when L will point towards 7 and R will point towards here 7, the values are equal. So now what we can do is we can output that, or we can check further also. But here only this is possible. So how many candies A has eaten? It is 3 candies. And how many candies B has eaten? It is 3 candies. The answer will be 6. So the answer of that test case was 6. Okay. So now let's see that how I have implemented this. First of all, I find out the two arrays P and S. P is for Elias and S is for Bob. Then 2 pointers approach, okay, to find that if PL is equal to SR, then we have to just update our answer to the max. Else, if PL is greater than SR, then we will decrement the value of R so that SR should be more, otherwise increment the value. So you can check out my code, try to write it to understand it more clearly. Now, fall down, this is a very good problem based on just implementation, how you can implement it, and nothing more than that. So what we can do here is that you can do here is that you have to shift this fall down the stones. Now you have to stop when there is an obstacle or when there is a ground. Okay, so we will just count first the number of stones which are present above the obstacle or ground, and then you can put it in the bottom. So let's see how I have done this. So how I have done this is that if there is a stone, so I have stored it in a variable C, means yeah, there is a stone, and I have made it a blank. Okay, now if there is an obstacle, means all the stones above it should be placed above this obstacle. So if there is an obstacle and there are, for example, because we are counting the number of stones in C, so for example there is an obstacle and there are C stones present above that obstacle which we have counted using the loop. So what we'll do is we will put that C stones in all the indices before that loop, means from I-1 to whatever, whenever it can go. And again, if there are, for example, no obstacle, or we have reached the ground, if we have reached the ground, in that case also we will put those stones from the bottom. If there are C stones present, then we will put those C stones in the bottom. Okay, so we will decrement the value of C, and if that C will become 0, we will break it. We will just put C stones just above the obstacle or just above the ground, whatever. This is how we can do it. Okay. Yeah, so it is an implementation based problem. Try to implement it by yourself. Don't see my implementation, first try it by yourself. Okay. Now this was a very great problem, and I solved it just after the fourth problem. Means I have solved these three problems at the last, and means I first solved A, B, and C and D, then H1, then I have solved E, then G, and then at the last. This is how I have solved. Now problem number H. In H, what I have done is it is a very great problem based on bit manipulation, where we have to basically maximize the AND of the particular given array, and for that what you can do is you can pick a particular element of that array. You can set its any bit to 1. Okay, you can set its bit to 1 basically. So what we can do is, so first of all we will focus upon the most priority bit, means the bit with the most value. Okay, so first of all we will focus on the 30th bit of the number, then we will focus upon the 29th bit. First of all we make the 30th bit 1, but if all the numbers have its 30th bit 1, then only it is good. If all the number doesn't have it, then it is of no use, because the AND will become 0 at the last. So if all the number has its particular bit 1, then the AND will also contain its bit 1. Fine, this is what we can do. So let's see what I have done. Okay, or first let's understand it in the whiteboard. So for example, I have 4 numbers, and I am taking their bytes on. So it is 101, 011, 001, and we have k is equal to 2 only. So for example, take this as 0 only. Okay, for example, k is equal to 2. So when k is equal to 2, you can see that in this particular bit 2 bits are required to make all the bits of this place 1, and we have k also 2. So we will use this k to make these bits 1, so that finally we have a or this one. But for example, the value of this k was 1. For example, the values of this k is 1. Then what we can do? In that case, if we will increment the, for example, this, then also the OR will be 0, because here is a 1 0 present. So we will search for that one where only one zero is present, so we can convert it to 1. So we can convert this 1 to 1, so that the AND will be maximum possible, which is 0 0 1, because all the ones are there. This is how we can do. We have to make all the bits of the all the numbers that particular bit to 1. Okay. Yeah, so let's move towards the code, how I have coded it. It is like, first of all, I have counted that a particular bit is on in how many numbers. So in this, I am counting that a particular bit is on in how many numbers. Here I have checked that how many numbers are remaining, means in how many numbers that bit is off, so that we can on it. And for example, the bit I is off in D numbers, so we have to make it on, so that the OR will be maximum. Okay, so to make it on, obviously K operations D operations are required. So if K is greater than D, so we are you can see that the loop is from 38 to 0, means we are first checking for the most prioritized bit with most power. Okay, fine. So we are decrementing the value of K, means yeah, we have used D operations, and then we will make that bit to N, means now all the numbers have that bit on. Then we are checking that for all the bits who for which all the numbers are on, we will increment the value of our answer, means the N, and then we will print that. So this was a good problem, and I hope you get it. So this is what these are very quick solutions, I know, but I don't think that much explanation is required for this problem. Try to perform it yourself, try to solve them yourself, because they are beginner friendly and they will help you very much if you will try it. If you are having problem in practice, so please try to solve this problem by your own. Okay, so thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any doubt, then only you can comment it down, or you can also join our Telegram channel. Okay, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram.